What's up, guys? Welcome to my new office, which isn't really an office, but welcome to my new dormitory. Dormants? I don't know. All right, hold up. Let me get this chat over here. Welcome to my new trading pad. Welcome to the other part of my basement. What's up, guys? All right. I see everyone trickling in here. Appreciate you guys all joining today for the first live stream after my basement got destroyed. You can even see, I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera, but there's even like a huge like zipper thing back there locking out that area. Anyway, let's see what we got going on here. All right. Bitcoin is choppy as all ball sacks today. And, you know, we really want to see the daily hold this lower wick here. We're at support. I already closed my longs because I just wanted to cut them. I got into a bunch of shorts on stocks and ended up doing pretty well so far. And I've already taken a bunch of profit on those. But hey, what's up, guys? Welcome, Mr. Helm. Thanks for joining. But basically, Bitcoin, we want to see it hold this wick. It could literally camp out here all day, and then tomorrow it could just go and do like a bearish engulfing candle or an outside bar or something. So I really don't know what's going to happen. Maybe I closed my longs a little prematurely, but in these conditions, you just can never be too sure, right? So we did have a nice 30-minute hold here. We're holding crucial support, but on the 4H, honestly, like I wanted to see the 4H hold this breakout, this candle here. Okay, this high volume candle here. And then we have another high volume base here, so it's 50-50 right now. I mean, I'm definitely not shorting here. The scalp short that I took this morning, I only took one short this morning on Bitcoin after closing my longs. And it was literally for like 10 minutes. Like this rejection here, and then we started to wake up and I closed. And that was it. That's all I've done. It's a little choppy, so I didn't really want to get too heavy into shorts or anything or try to hold them too long. Especially, you know, we're kind of at support, so even if we go lower, we could go, you know, like there's too many options. When you get to support, it's like, this is a really good example. If you guys are shorting, right, and you're like, okay, here's support, here's resistance. All right, and if you're shorting, like, let's say even like price goes up, is up here, and you didn't even short, and you like short here, like you can still feel a little bit more comfortable holding and then getting out at support, right? Rather than like, let's say price like goes, oh, let me clear this out. Let's say price goes up to here and then like comes back in here. Like you can't feel comfortable holding a short here because even it could just pop even if it's going to go lower because you're at support. So these little pops at support can be FOMO pops and people can be buying just because it's support and it can push up and then sell off. So I never can feel comfortable. So once I get into like if I am shorting, like let's say there's a high time frame support. So if I am shorting, you know, a high time frame support, and I find a low time frame trade, I'm just going to get out of it quick. Like I'll see like, basically this is like the example of what happened today is, you know, price was dropping and then it dropped a little bit, retested and dropped a little bit. So I got out here and then it's like, you know, going back up a little bit already. So it's pretty tricky to hold shorts too long at support and longs too long at resistance because you always get a little bit of fight in the other direction just from it being at support or resistance. Excuse me. You guys ever eat a granola bar and then you get like granola stuck in your throat and then you try to talk and you feel like you're talking with like sandpaper in your throat? That's what it feels like right now. All right. Altcoin chart requests. Whoa. The reason you're all here. Nobody gives a crap about Bitcoin. We don't like Bitcoin. Yeah, I like Bitcoin. We like altcoins. We love losing all of our money in altcoins, you guys. So let's do it. What altcoins are we going to buy before they nuke today? Let's see what you guys got, though, for real. All right, I see first caller of the day, KDA. Let's look at Binance. This chart looks amazingly awful. No, I'm just kidding. Let me actually look at it. Okay, let's see. Well, you see here, you guys, this is, if you look at the endoplasmic reticulum over here on the vanilla wafer. I'm just kidding. This is just, I mean, this is obviously straight downtrend. There's ooh, look at somebody's trying to get my attention. Hey, thanks for the tip, man. I appreciate you. I'll do QCOM in a minute. What is it? This super follower thing. All right, let's get down to business now. There's no reversal yet on here, okay? And kind of the key here is, honestly, this looks like a bear flag, right? Doesn't mean it is, but it looks like a bear flag, okay? I have a lot of buying here. I bet OBV's perking up a little bit. Top BinX buy approaching alert for the first time in a while. All my friends are short on QCOM apparently, and I'm not, so good job, guys. But basically the key here for me to have a hard time longing this right now is, look at this. So we've got this high volume. Oh, actually, that wasn't very high volume. We've got this high volume. Well, we've got this FOMO candle here, and then now we've got a rejection. So I'd at least want to see it reclaim this resistance before I'd consider longs, okay? And really, it's technically at kind of support. I can't tell if this is like a breakdown or not yet, so we can just keep monitoring. But it's technically at support maybe. So I'd consider this maybe a deviation. And then, you know, if we break down here, it's pretty likely we sweep the lows. But if it can somehow reclaim here, okay, then it could push to like $2 area. So that's probably what I'd be looking at on a 4H time frame. Let's see, 6H, we obviously don't want to lose this support at 160. All right, if we lose 160, it's pretty much game over. That's just a, you know, an exit pump basically, as we call it, and we go lower. So you can kind of see how that played out here, okay? And what happens is we've got the similar situation here. We've got this pump, sells off, it retests support. If it would have broken below, it would have nuke city'd, okay? But it didn't. We don't. This is why a good example of why we don't short support. It broke back up, and now we're in the same situation. We just move our line, and we go, okay, same situation. If this holds, we can push up again. If it doesn't hold, then we go down. So pretty straightforward there. So yeah, that's KDA. Those are the levels I'd be looking at. It's kind of in no man's land right now. So like I said, you probably want to do like probably break down below here and it breaks up above there. Right now it's kind of in the chop zone. All right, we've got, let's see, Avax. Oh, we've got VET too. Let me do VET first. That was first. All right, VET is kind of looking like very similar to the chart we just looked at, honestly. The problem here is this is a really nice hold. I mean, look at these lower wicks. Like, this looks great, right? It's basically like a morning star pattern. But the problem here is we're losing the support. So you want to look. You're definitely not going to long here. There's no reason to on this time frame. And you're basically going to look, if this closes below here, most likely it would keep going down, okay? And maybe it would retest and then go down. But if it closes below here and it reclaims, then it would be a deviation, all right? So for now, you would just have it on watch. You would probably set an alert above this level because you want to buy above this level. You'd want to buy above support, right? So that's where I'd be looking at. That would be a nice deviation potentially, and then it could go higher. I'd probably look at like a 4-hour chart or something like that for a reclaim. But for now, this just becomes on a watch. I really don't like shorting after these kind of wicks, all right? So there's going to be better opportunities out there, and this is one of those where there's no short setup, okay? Even if it breaks down, there's no short setup, and there's no long setup unless it breaks back above. So this one is on a watch, okay, for me personally, is how I would have it. Avax, I'll get to QCOM here in a minute, my friend. Let's do Avax quick. We're seeing kind of a similar situation. Little double bottom action here. And actually, I think, so this was basically a double bottom. And it looks like it actually hit target. And then broke below double bottom, which isn't good. But you can see here, if you were trading this. All right. Bam. Just shy of double bottom. And then it broke down. So this kind of looks like a fake out to me. I'm getting a little nervous that the whole market is just faking us out right now. We're just getting the high volume pops here, and then we're selling off on them almost. So it's worth being cautious. You know, I had 4H confirmation on Bitcoin at that 150 break, and it failed on me. So when my confirmations fail, that usually means, you know, that was just a deviation or a FOMO or a stop hunt or whatever you want to call it. So Avax not looking so hot right now. My team was actually short on that, and then we closed it for like basically break even because the market's just getting too choppy, or it was just too choppy, and we didn't want to put any heavy risk down at these levels. All right, so everyone's asking about QCOM. Let's see what QCOM's doing. That is a stock. Ooh, CF is dropping. That's nice. Got a little position in there. I'm up about 2%. Where's QCOM? All right, QCOM. Hey, this is a great nuke candle today. Let's look at the monthly. Okay, and here's the deal, you guys. I've been struck. Look at this resistance, first off. I mean, what a sweet wick into resistance and then dump. So I should have probably got in, but, you know, there's so many opportunities out there. So here's kind of the first thing you'd look at. So this is probably going to be like a first target area soon, okay? Because we've got this basically rounded top here, all right, and a breakdown. And then usually these go to origin. Now, so this is where I would look at my first target, probably my first TP. And then I'd consider maybe, you know, if it closes down here, maybe a little bounce up and then die. You don't know, right? It's hard to say. Excuse me. So if these break down, that's usually mega bearish, and they just freaking die, right? Like if this origin breaks down, sometimes this origin bounces and it kind of chops a little bit. So on monthly time frame, on a monthly trade, we're at a decent TP. We still don't have a monthly close below support, okay, below our support level. This is where I want to see a close below on the monthly, and that's probably why I've been hesitant to take a position in here. So overall, though, monthly, right at that level. You could see daily. Sorry, this is weekly. Weekly is right at the 99 SMA, okay? So again, could find support soon. Daily, obviously completely lost support here. So that means, can it wick up and people buying below support because it's a new low, right? We don't know. See how the 4H closes. OBV, you know, is kind of some bullish div here. Nothing significant, though. Again, some more bullish divs. So this could end up chopping around a little bit more. We haven't seen too many like mega strong trends lately. We've seen everything like kind of die and then come back to life a little bit and then fizzle out and then come back to life and then gap down and then die one more day. So it's kind of been choppy. 15-minute, maybe a little morning star type deal here if it can develop. We do have a lot of, you know, dropping volume here. So it's definitely a level where you could consider taking a little bit of profit. Now, I wouldn't necessarily long that, okay? This isn't really a long setup for me. It's more so just maybe tighten my stop loss on partial position or something like that, okay? So, but yeah, thanks again. I appreciate the tips, you guys. I mean, it means a lot. Even if it's a small amount, it's just a nice gesture. So I really do appreciate you guys. Tips are completely, you know, not required, of course. This is all free. It's free for you guys. You know, BingX, I've been working with them for about 2 years now, and they actually sponsor my streams. Obviously, you guys all know that, but I do use BingX, solid exchange, low fees, very low fees, and I use it for like a little bit smaller positions on low time frames because I can get in and out very quickly and very, very low fees. So if you do want to try BingX, there's a link below. If you want to check it out, and if you want a paper trade as well, they have paper trading on there. It's called VST, so it's like virtual currency. And if they don't load your account when you make one, you can just go message them for it. But they've added so much lately. Like since I've been working with them, you guys, I've helped them just like I wanted it to be a better exchange for traders, right? And so we've added like trailing stop losses, partial take profits, like just so much. Trailing stop losses are awesome now for my scalps. So we've just added a lot. They've been growing. They like, you know, really reached out and wanted me to work with them and be like, hey, how can we improve? How can we, you know, get more people to want to use our exchange and make it better for our users? So helped them out, and I'm really happy to be working with them. Okay. I feel like I have a mustache hair and a nose hair like holding hands, and when I talk, they like tickle each other. You guys ever had that before? It just feels like they're holding hands. I need to comb my mustache, you guys. Get down there, Tiger. Get down there, Tiger. All right. I would just shave my whole face, but then I'd have baby face and it would look weird. I would look like such a baby, you guys, with a shaved face. All right. Let's see. Dot. Somebody said dot. Let's go. Dot. Circle, circle. Dot, dot. All right, let's see what we got here, guys. We always zoom out. Let's go to the weekly. All right. Well, this would have been a decent knife catch, but I mean, this is where you want to see it bounce. So maybe it's worth going to like the BTC chart on this, but you definitely want to see it hold here. It may depend on what Bitcoin is doing. Obviously, this is an ugly drop right now. Okay. And we actually have a descending triangle breakdown here, in my opinion. And a retest. Okay. So that's kind of how I see this, is basically a descending triangle. And, or we could say, you know, it was a whatever that's called, a symmetrical triangle. But honestly, a lot of people probably FOMO'd up here, and that would have been a great short entry, as you could see here. And look at this high volume at the bottom here. Very high volume. And if we lose that base, we go a lot lower, because we have a lot of people trapped underwater now, and we could drop, I don't know how far, but we could drop decent. So worth being cautious on DOT. I mean, if you're going to buy, I guess here's, like, if I was going to look for a long, if I was going to force, okay, there's a difference between finding a setup and forcing a setup. If I was going to force a setup, I'd probably just pull something like either really tight there or even like tighter here and just be like, okay, could work, could not, you know, but I don't need to force this right now. Bitcoin is popping up a little bit. So that bastard could have shaken me out today, but we'll see. We can always get back in, right? Even if I get back in a couple % higher, it's not the end of the world. I'd rather, you know, cut my losses quickly when I feel like things are shifting, rather than, you know, keep holding on and just watching it lose more value and lose more value and lose more value. And by the time I know it, I'm like, okay, I should have closed this, you know, 5% ago, right? So I'm never hesitant to close at a small loss. You can always get back in. You can always find another setup. But yeah, let's see what else we got. So this is like right at a key support level. You definitely want to see it bounce. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Same thing. Again, we've got this high volume here at the base here. We definitely want to hold that. Not necessarily any long setup here yet. Let me move these. Top BinX says 4H buy approaching, which would mean that we would go from here to here, and we would look to buy the 0.786 fib. So according to Top BinX, this could be a decent buy opportunity here. Okay. Most likely just depends on Bitcoin. Again, I'm definitely not considering shorts at this level, at these levels anymore right now. Okay. But I would want to see Bitcoin reclaim some areas before I would feel more confident about altcoins. But again, let's go see what DOT and Bitcoin shows. Okay, let's go to the monthly for the hell of it. All right, nice little wicks here. Kind of stuck between like a little, like it's at that wick right there, but it's kind of stuck between a chop zone, and you can see it's wicked to both sides of that range already. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly looks okay, but again, this could just be a stop hunt because we're clearly in a downtrend. So this could just be a short squeeze, stop hunt, and then it goes lower. You know, you never really trust the first big bounce. So, and it's right to our EMA resistance. So 50-50 on direction here. We've got some really nice volume coming in here. This definitely looks like a trend reversal versus the BTC pairing. I mean, we've got really nice volume here. This is where I would have found a long setup at. On this, close probably. Could have gotten in something like this. And I would target it probably a little bit higher. But something like that would have been the good target. Versus BTC, DOT looks okay here. All right, we definitely have this nice big breakout. But again, we need to see it, and we definitely want to see it hold this level, okay? So that's DOT. You know, you could sneak a small buy in here if you really want, like if you're really just itching to buy. But if you've been buying the whole way down, like, you know, if you've been buying everything on every dip and you just keep getting stopped out, then it's not really worth your while to keep doing that until, you know, you get some real confirmation of upside, and then you can get it up here a little bit higher when we're actually maybe in a, you know, a little reversal. Whereas right now we don't have quite a reversal yet, at least on this time frame. So you know, if you haven't bought, like, let's say you've been sitting in stables like I have for forever, right? And you're like, well, I'm just going to give it a go here because I got nothing else to do, you know, because I've been sitting in stables so long. And that's kind of when I feel more apt to just give it a go. But again, if I've been like buying every dip, I might be sitting out a little bit here and maybe waiting for a little bit better confirmation for once. So let's see. Algo. 127 people are watching and only 6 likes. Oh, thanks, Paul. Man, so mean, you guys. I need all those likes. Likes do help, though, you guys. They help me get more viewership on my videos and then, you know, help me get more sponsors to be able to bring a lot more videos to you guys. So if you don't mind, always appreciate likes on the videos and comments. It's much appreciated. You know, obviously retweets on Twitter, too, of my video links and stuff. But end of the day, I just want to give you guys free content, and that's what I'm trying to do my best to do. So even if you don't do all that stuff, I'm still going to keep bringing the content because that's just how I am. I'm not going to shut my content off just because I'm not getting enough of that, because I care more about the content than the actual engagement. But of course, better engagement, you know, the more videos I can make through my sponsors. So Algo, I'm literally just skipping around here. I don't know. I mean, we're losing. This is a tough one, you guys. It pretty much sold off after the World Cup shit. So maybe it starts pumping when the World Cup starts because they're partnered with them. We don't want to lose this breakout here. But this chart just looks really ugly. Like, you're not going to knife catch here. Look at the 3-day. We basically had like a stop, or, you know, a short squeeze. And we're kind of running into the same situation. I don't like this long upper wick, okay? So that's not promising. And, yeah, so this would be a watch for me. Again, long upper wick. If we lose the base of this support, then, you know, we probably start selling off because all those buyers are now underwater. So not promising. I don't even know where I would buy on this. Maybe we could consider, here's a potential setup we could consider. Okay, inverse head and shoulders. So you got your left shoulder, head, right shoulder. All right, and we target about here and there. So our target would be about 41. So if we draw our little tool here, and you guys, honestly, I love drawing these tools every time I take a trade. Because they just help me see it visually and actually see my risk. Because what if I draw this and I'm like, oh man, my stop, let's just hypothetically say I got to put my stop loss there and my target's here. I might be like, well, let me just do this for the hell of it. I might be like, oh, this looks like a great trade, I'm going to enter. And then I'm like, oh, that's a terrible trade. It's 1-to-1 risk to reward. I don't like that. I'm not a good enough trader to give myself 1-to-1 risk to reward. So, you know, if I go down here, then it's a 2-to-1. That's great. Or if I can even sneak it up higher, and I think that's good, you know, whatever. But basically, just technical wise, this is how the trade would look if you were taking a trade up here on a breakout. Okay. So that's how that would look. Put your stop loss above that high or low. I usually try to find it a little bit tighter, but, you know, it doesn't always work if you put it a little bit tighter. So anyway, that's how Algo looks. Let's see. Oh, we just somebody just said KDA. I did that at the beginning, so you can always scroll back. Ireland Gooner, nice. I love me some Irish whiskey. Oh, thanks, Max. You the man. Max liked it as soon as he started watching you guys. You should take example, because I only pay Max $100 for a like. All right. So maybe if you guys like it, I'll start paying you like I pay Max for his quick likes. All right. Jordan, I already did KDA. Is at the beginning. You can watch the replay on the stream. Let's see what else we got. Thanks for the updates on Twitter. I appreciate you guys for following me on Twitter for reals. For reals. I love posting on Twitter. It's been so much fun. All right. I see Inge. Let's do that one. And I just like helping people out, you guys. It's been really fun to like post content and try to keep people from getting wrecked in this market. So what was that one we looked at that looked the exact same as this? Dot, maybe? Anyway, refer the dot, or was it Algo? Dot? I don't know. We just looked at Algo. He pays me in UST. All right. Daniel, you're giving me likes for free, man. You're the best. What a sucker. Should have made me pay you like Max does. All right. Refer the old chart we looked at. All right. It's literally the exact same setup. I don't want to explain it over. But it was a few charts ago. I literally can't remember which one it was. But all right. So let's look at did we look at VET already? We already looked at VET, I'm pretty sure. All right, waves. I like waves. That's a fun one to trade. Look at that support hold. See, and this is why I like just intraday trading, because I can be like, all right, look at this. This is a support. I'm going to buy here at a support. Price goes up. I sell. I don't care if it keeps going up or just dies. I don't care because I already got out. I already made money and I'm done with it. Excuse me. That's why I like intraday trading because I kind of suck at high time frame trading anyway because it's too much patience. And I get really good entries on low time frames and then shit like this happens and I'm back to break even, right? Or underwater. So it's like, I don't know. Something about momentum on intradays that works way better than for my personal strategy. But now everyone's asking me to pay them. You guys, I'm kidding. I only pay max $50 a like, not 100. Anyway, waves. I mean, it's clear as day. It's got to hold this. Otherwise, you can waves goodbye. What if I just sat here and laughed for like 10 minutes? That was a good one. Got you guys. Oh, man. That was great. Terrible joke. All right. Anyway, it's got to hold here. So if you're playing risk to reward, you just buy here and pray. I'm not saying you should buy here. I don't think I would buy here. I don't know what the hell is it. Why would my stop loss be over 100%? Sweet risk to reward. Sweet. What the hell? Oh, 270% risk, 270% reward. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take that trade. That's like a Luna trade right there. All right. It's funny because everything that I say is delayed on the stream. It's like, I don't know, 10 seconds. So it's funny seeing all your comments like after the fact. Thanks for liking my joke, you guys. I only paid you guys $10 each to say you liked it. Somebody asked if I always need a 2-to-1 minimum risk to reward. You don't need it, but I want it because if I'm 2-to-1 risk to reward, I can take that trade twice, lose money the first time, make money the second time, and still be in profit, right? So that's why I like that. I mean, this is literally all I could say on waves right now is it's got to go here or it's going to die. And it's not looking promising. Let's look at the weekly. Like this is actually a very good example of a downtrend. And remember that other chart I told you guys, this could just be a short squeeze, and it was. Like, basically, this is an uptrend, okay? We now have a deviation, and this is the exact top, and this is a downtrend now. And this is, if you're an Elliott wave person, you could say maybe this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but maybe that's what an Elliott wave person would say. But for me, I'm basically like, okay, look, this is now a downtrend. I just want to short in a downtrend. Not only that, look, I'm at a major resistance now in a downtrend, so I could feel comfortable shorting that because I know that price is likely going to keep going down at some point. Even if it pushed up a little bit higher to like here, I'd be like, all right, I'm still in a downtrend unless somehow I reverse the trend, it's still likely to sell off. So this looks ugly. You never want to see this. It looks like a high volume short squeeze. As soon as this breaks down, if it breaks down, then people start to sell off, and that's, like the new ceiling for a while. So be cautious of that. Doesn't look good. Yeah, somebody said they're in a short. If I was in a short, I'd probably take a little profit at support and then just try to keep holding and tightening my stop loss depending on my entry. How do I find low risk trades? It's just about waiting patiently for entries, you guys. If you want to buy something, you wait for a support. If you want to short something, you wait for resistance. It's pretty simple. If price is here, I'm not going to buy. And if it goes up here, then I missed out on the trade. If price is here and it goes in here and I want to buy, I can buy now. Okay? And hopefully it goes up. And even if it doesn't go up, now my invalidation is here and it's a lot closer than here. And my risk to reward is better. So that's a great risk to reward there. All right? And that's basically it. That's the simple version of it. Okay? Very, very, very simple. All right. I love you too. Somebody's blowing up the chat, man. All right, I know. I see you. With those kind of trade setups I mentioned, you do in a waves downtrend. Are those based on what you're feeling or actual strategies? No, that's an actual. It's not even a strategy. It's literally saying price is in an uptrend. You want to buy the dips, and technically, well, this would be a downtrend technically. But this becomes a deviation, and I think there was some like weird news or something going on, which is why it pumped anyway. But then you're back into a down. This is technically a downtrend. It's just people don't like this when I say this. This is technically, I mean, there you go. So this is actually uptrend. This is downtrend. And you could still have a higher high and still be kind of in bearish conditions. This just basically becomes a bull trap, a deviation. All right. It's kind of a weird terminology to say that, oh, this is a bull market here. Like, technically, yes, this was, or sorry, bear market. Oh, this is bear market here, you idiot. It went up to new all-time high. Yes, you're right. But it's a bearish move. This is a bearish bounce. And we saw it on Bitcoin too. But this is a bearish bounce. It's a dead cat bounce. It's just kind of, I don't know the exact terminology for it, honestly, but once you get that downtrend break, yeah, if you're shorting the whole way, that's not a good look, right? That's why you want to use good risk management. But at the same time, this is when you're like this is when you're in the depths of the downtrend. This is like initial drop. We've got a strong trend. We've got initial drop, and sometimes that rebound is strong just because there was all this momentum here and people FOMO back in. But now we're in a definite downtrend. We're now below the 99 SMA. All right, we're below the 99 SMA. Our EMAs are curling low. Like, we are now in a definition of a downtrend where this is kind of like a uptrend break, and this is a deviation. I don't know how else to say it, but hopefully that makes sense for you guys. All right, let's do a couple more. We got FTM. I really don't want to do TRX, you guys. I don't like TRX. That chart's weird. All right, FTM. This has been one of the weaker charts. Whoops, wrong thing. Let's get rid of all these drawings. All right, let's go to the 1 month. So you kind of look for a couple things here. Okay, we're at support. So you don't want to short that. You could play potential scenario here of right shoulder, which would be sweet, right? This would be a great short opportunity. Bounces and dies, like you'd get a clear head and shoulders, right? Bam, bam, bam. It's fun to play possibilities. Doesn't mean it's actually going to happen like that. But again, it's fun to play them. So that's one thing. Otherwise, if you close below here on the monthly, it's just straight down to like 5 cents. Like, there's not much support to hold it. You got a little wick here, a little breakout here. But otherwise, you know, like your main support level is here. So go down to 4H. You know, this is a nice 4H hold here. Nice high volume candle. So you definitely don't want to short that. Okay, we're trying to hold this trend breakout. Here we go. So we're trying to hold this breakout here. Okay. If we can reclaim up here, kind of like one of the other charts I talked about earlier, if we can kind of reclaim some of these levels, we can push. Bam. Okay. For now, we're kind of in that no trade zone. We're kind of choppy. It's like we're getting a push and a pull now, and when you get a hard push on one side and a hard pull on the other side, then it's kind of just a little range, and it's best to stay out and not get chopped up in that little range. So if you already have an entry and you feel good about it, you know, if you're short from higher or long from lower, you can just tighten your stop losses, shave a little profit, and see what happens. But new entries, you want to get good entries and be patient, kind of like we talked about. We already did AVAX. Make sure you check that chart. Let's do APE real quick. We'll do APE and then XMR, and then I'm going to get going, okay? So let's do APE. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. So my son says, ooh, 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 ooh. That's what my son always says for monkey. So that's what I think about when I see the APE chart. Okay. We got to throw some fibs on here maybe, because this is just, there's no support on the weekly, right? So like any weekly time frame trade is non-existent right now. But if we throw some fibs, yeah, we don't even have any fibs right now. So let's go to the daily. Whoops, wrong thing. The whole key is just not to knife catch, you guys. So whether, you know, I just can't buy here. Maybe this creates a little zone. Maybe it deviates and I could get in on a spring action or something. But the thing is, I just don't like to knife catch. So there's really, again, we don't want to lose this breakout on this support here, the base of that candle. This is trading view. This is where I chart at. Somebody just asked what I'm using. Trading view. Again, we've got this fake breakout here. And these fake breakouts always piss me off because they're usually go lower. Like they basically are deviation and they die off. Okay. We saw it with Bitcoin at a similar example here on Bitcoin. Let me go to the daily chart. Okay. Now it took it a little bit to die, but basically a similar situation. You got a breakout here. Okay. And it breaks out and it goes below that breakout, and it fizzles out. And that's what happens a lot, okay? Now, usually it goes quicker, but we've been choppy, but usually it's just like, eh. And we actually saw that even more up here. Again, a little bit quicker, but get that breakout. If I zoomed out, you'd see it's a breakout, and then it breaks down, and then it dies. So that's what you look at there. It's tough to buy anything right now. You're kind of at your max risk reward. Like if you buy now, you're basically closing later today or in a few hours if it doesn't go your way. But again, if you've been buying the whole downtrend over and over and over, it's really not worth to keep taking those losses until you have that confirmation. If you haven't bought it all in a long time and you're like, I just want to throw 5% of my portfolio in and see what happens. Because if everything goes down 50%, you're only down 2.5% on your overall portfolio, which still is an okay risk to reward. XMR, I'm kind of mad I didn't short this, actually. We had a great swing short opportunity here. Like that monthly rejection. The problem is probably would have closed here, and then you get this big wick, and I don't like shorting those big wicks, right? So that's kind of the pain in the ass here when you get this choppy bullshit, is that it kind of screws up any trades, especially for me, because granted, I could have shorted this rejection, would have made some nice money if I had taken profit, but my target would have been a little bit lower probably. Problem is, now it goes back up, and I'm like, I lose my monthly setup because I've got this long wick here, and I cannot justify shorting for a monthly swing hold on wicks like that, because if I did that here, you could see it wouldn't have worked out, right? So if you see a setup that go, if you don't have a setup, just let it go, find another setup. Any advice for crypto traders wanting to trade stocks? There's no fees, which is nice, so I can use a little bit larger positions and not worry about the fees. The gapping up and gapping down and after hours shit is kind of confusing and still kind of confused me half the time. Like for a while back, last couple years, I was like, okay, this should gap down today and then move up, or this should gap up today and keep going up or whatever. But lately, without the liquidity, it's been like something will gap down like it should, and you'll have a great setup, and it'll just bounce and keep going higher, and it'll invalidate your setup like that. So for stocks, the great thing is if I'm still in a trade at the end of the day and I'm still holding, I don't have to worry about managing it in the evening. And that's the biggest thing, is my wife doesn't really want me working in the evenings. So a lot of times if I want to do a swing position, I'm going to do it more on stocks, and then crypto, I'm going to do more intraday trading where once I close out, once I'm leaving my desk for the day, I either have all my stop losses set tight, or I'm making sure I'm locking in profit and then taking the rest of the day off, so I don't have to worry about getting alerts on my phone and having to go manage positions or anything like that. I trade stocks on TD Ameritrade. Do I need a certain amount to start trading stocks? No, but I think a lot of brokers require like $25,000 minimum. I think that's the number to start trading with margin or whatever. I don't technically use margin. I don't use like the margin platform. I just use the regular platform, and all I do is sell short. So I'm just selling short basically with my spot cash on hand. I think it gives me like 1.5 or 2x leverage, technically, kind of, if I want it. But I don't do like any actual leverage on there. So, yeah, you guys. Well, all right, Swap Neil. Shout out, please. All right. Book recommendations. Guys, I don't read books, honestly. I'm not going to lie. When I first started learning trading, I went to Twitter and found some guys that I actually trusted, and I watched their charts and learned from what they said and tried to emulate it and tried to learn what they were saying and how I could use it on charts. Then I went to, YouTube and looked around a little bit, didn't find much. My YouTube is really good, I think. I've heard a lot of people enjoy it. It's very well broken down, so make sure you check out my YouTube videos. Otherwise, I just pulled up the charts, you guys, and started drawing shit. I would draw a triangle somewhere. I would draw a head and shoulder. That was kind of shitty inverse head and shoulders, but I would draw like this. And I'd say, oh, this is an inverse head and shoulders. All right, let's see if it breaks out. If it breaks out, then I would know my target should be up here, blah, blah, blah. I would just draw shit. Or I'd be like, okay, well, this looks like a bull flag. And again, this is just me BSing right now, but this looks like a bull pennant. Let's see if it breaks out. If it breaks out, maybe I'll buy this bull pennant, and then it breaks down. Okay, it broke down, and I would just come back days or weeks later, and I'd be like, all right, why didn't this work out? Or why did this happen? And you guys can always ask questions on my tweets. I don't answer my DMs very much. I do sometimes, but the problem is when I answer DMs, then people just message me over and over and over and ask me and ask me like irrelevant things, or they'll be like, hey, can you do this chart request? And I'm like, it gets to where my DMs are just unreadable because I've got so many people messaging me every day now. So not that I don't mind answering questions, but if I have important stuff in my DMs and I've got like a million people just asking me stuff that's kind of irrelevant, right? Or just like little tiny questions, I can't keep up with them all. So I ask, if you want to ask questions, if they're in my replies, I'm way more likely to answer it than if it's in a DM. Some people don't want to post like questions because they're embarrassed or whatever. Like, no question is a dumb question. And I bet you if you ask a question, at least 5 to 10 other people have the same exact question, and maybe I can answer it and help everyone out. Okay. So best way to get a hold of me and ask questions is in my replies, and I will answer. And it's public, because another thing I don't like is if I get 5 DMs of the same question, I don't want to answer all 5 DMs. I'd rather answer it in public, right? So that never hurts. What are some of my biggest wins and biggest losses? I don't know. I like really don't know. I mean, I've lost probably like 40K or 50K in like seconds before, you know, like, and then I've made like 40 or 50K in seconds before. It's crazy. But overall, you know, I try to keep my losses like less than 5 figures. I really do. A lot of people like to just show big losses and stuff. And I'm like, I don't like to have big losses. Anything more than 5 figures, I don't like to lose. So I try to cap it less than that, even if it's, you know, less than 1% of my account or whatever. I try to keep, depending on my accounts, I try to keep everything less than 5 figures. I just don't like to see that. Like, I'm more frugal. I don't like to risk like $50,000 on a trade. I just don't like to, you know? So I did take like a $25,000 loss on Netflix not long ago, though. I entered a position and I was going to add the next day, and I came back to my computer and it was down. I was like, oh, I can add here. And it was down. I was down like 25K. And I'm like, where the hell? I was like so confused because I basically added a zero onto my position. I wanted to do like $100,000 position. I did like $1 million position. So I thought I was down 3% on a $100,000 position, and I was down 3% on $1 million position. Well, it was like 2.5% or something. So I was down like 25K instead of 2,500. But so instead of adding, I had to put my stop loss tight, and then I got stopped out. And then, of course, it ran like another 10 or 15%, right? So if I was in the original trade, I would have made money, and I probably would have added a little bit down there with the good risk reward and made a decent, you know, I had a little bit larger position. But I don't know. I had some good wins. I remember when I first quit, I mean, uni was probably one of my biggest wins. I remember having like $250,000 in OXT, and I closed at like 10%, I think. It went up like 10%, and I was like, man, this thing has just been selling off too much. Like, I'm getting out. Like, I'm going to take my profit or whatever. And then it went up like 4x in like 2 days. And I was like, shit, I messed that one up. But you can never dwell on that stuff. You know, it could have dropped. Oh, I'm cramping. Ah, cramp. My leg's cramping. Okay. Ah. Oh, I ran at the gym this morning and my leg is cramping. That's the worst. Stand up. Man down. Gooner down. Okay. Got it. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, yeah, OXT. You know, that was probably more than I should have put in a liquid shitcoin anyway. So that was a lesson for me. That was why I was quick to get out. And one thing, you guys, is a lot of these liquid assets, even like stocks, like if you go big, like Bitcoin, you can go big in. You can do like a $5 million position in Bitcoin and still get out pretty quickly. But like some of these shitcoins, you cannot even do like $50,000, or else you could like buy and then try to sell 5 minutes later, and you could take like a 10% loss just trying to sell. So the key is, if something is a liquid, you should be going smaller just in general, like on these micro caps. Like I'll use 7-figure positions on stocks, right? But on a micro cap, I'm using like $2,000, you guys. And if it goes up 5x, that's sweet. I made 10K. If it goes down 50%, 70%, I only lost 2K. Like, you got to be smart in these markets to sustain. And that's the key. You can make good money over time by not being a dumbass. Some people make really good money really quick, but then they've developed these gambling tendencies, or they've developed these tendencies where they think they have to go big all the time. And when the market turns against them and they don't know how to react to it, then they lose a lot of money. So regardless of what you see on Twitter, thanks, Swap. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Just the key, you guys, is consistency and just don't be a dumbass. Like, you can always make more money. You can always lose more money. I mean, it's so easy. It's so much easier to compound losses than wins because you can just be, trading too aggressively or emotionally. So, really, just don't if your net worth is like $25,000. $100 a day is a good profit. Like if your net worth like if you don't have that much money, it's fine. Like I started out with 25K in my bank account like 3 or 4 years ago, right? Like bull run helped a lot. But the key is like I wasn't trading large, when my bank account had $25,000 in it, I wasn't trading with $25,000. I had like $5,000 account max, and it was probably more like $3,000, right? Like as my net worth grows, I can increase my account size, and I'm still risking like a small portion of my overall net worth. Like, and I got lucky that I had good mentors starting off that were like not trying to give me unrealistic expectations and not telling me to go try to make $500,000 a day. Right? Like I'm not gambling. Like there's no reason to. The stress of going too big all the time and being overexposed just sucks anyway. Like, and then what happens with that is you get emotional because you're stressed and your positions are going underwater or something, or you're losing too much, and then you just can't think straight. So when your risk is calculated and you're okay losing the amount that you set up in each trade, then you're gonna be fine. You're gonna do a lot better. So that's probably the key. I should have enlarged myself here. Whoop, 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 for the end of this. Okay. Well, that's all the time whoa. I disappeared. Okay. Well, yeah, you guys. That's pretty much all the time I got today. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Bitcoin's kind of looking choppy right now. Not much volume, not much volatility today. So I made some profit this morning. I'm gonna call it quits. I've actually got some open trades on CF. Oh, sweet. Let's go. I love this. So I've got a CF short from up here, and I've stop loss break even now, and I'm riding this. I actually closed half of it at like a small profit, like 1% maybe, just to lock in because it was lagging. And my other trades were in good profit already, and this one was lagging. So I was like, I could be done for the day and be happy and close all my positions. So I'm gonna go break even here, reduce my risk, take a little bit of profit, and then see if it'll run. And it's starting to run. So now I just want to see it lose this level. And I'll just let you guys join me because I was going to check these out real quick before I log off anyway. So I'm going to watch this. I could probably tighten my stop loss a little bit more even if I really want to. You can see we're losing some EMA support. And we rejected at crucial resistance. So I had no issues getting in a short at resistance here. And this is looking great, actually. I'm really impressed with how much this is up. I wish I would have... you can't ever think that. But if I left my scalp position open, it'd be doing... or my full position open, it'd be doing really well. But still, it's a good size still. I like what I'm seeing. And again, this is... I can just chill and look at this chart. I'm not overexposed. I'm not like... looking at my P&L every 5 seconds and being like, holy cow, that's a lot of money. Oh, man, should I take profit? And it goes up like, one little tick. And I'm like, look at all that unrealized profit gone, right? So I'm just chilling. I'm watching the chart. I'm reading what's in the chart. I'm not worried about my P&L right now. I'm just taking this level by level. Let's look at race. This is another one I'm in that I've also moved my stop loss to break even. And you can see here. And that's one thing too, you guys. If you're in a trade and you're like really, really big, sometimes if I get in a trade big with a really good risk reward on this first drop, I'm just going to get out partial and then I can hold the rest, because what happens is if it goes down here and you're in a big profit and then it rebounds up close to entry, you're like, shit, I'm back to break even. And that was a really good payday. Like I should have just taken it, right? So then you might close here to small profit just to lock some in, and then it goes down to your target. So usually if I'm in a little bit larger position and I want to see it go in my direction right away, I'll close partial and then let the rest run. CF looking great. Race, I mean, we've got some good sell volume in. OBV's dropping, so that's good to see. It just kind of looks a little choppy right now. Not much. I mean, obviously the 1H looks kind of bullish-ish, but not really. We've got a nice little hold here, but we're actually below this breakout here for now, so we'd want to see that break down completely. Got some high 15-minute volume. And what we kind of have here is like a little breakdown, drop, consolidation, and then when you want to see us drop again, and that's usually where I close. And again, if you're an Elliott wave guy, I think I'm playing the 1, 2, 3. So I'm getting in, trying to get in on a 1, and then it bounces for 2, and then I can, if I miss the 1, I can get in on the 2, and then I go for 3, and then I get out for wave 3. So wave 3 is the one that's usually the longest, so it's usually the easiest to ride, and usually there's not much pullbacks. It's pretty straightforward, right? Oh, shit. Did I make myself big? That's so funny. Dang it. Bam. There's me. There's the charts. Wait, what's going on? Earthquake. All right, hold up. God, you guys, I'm terrible live streamer. I told you guys should have paid attention to my charts. Anyway, all right, let's look at CF real quick. All right, we'll go back to what I was saying. We'll do the delayed version, or the brief version. So basically, I'm in a CF short. Okay, move my stop loss to break even. I got a great entry here. This is riding. We got a nice resistance rejection. I'm not trying to catch a top. I saw the rejection. I got in, and now we're riding it. And I want to see this break down, flip here, and then my first target is probably going to be here. Yeah. So we're looking great on CF. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Let's see if it will go to my target. All right, race. Let's race over to this chart. All right, let's see what we got here. So this one's stalling a little bit. This was a large position, and I got out like 175-ish on 75%. Nice t-shirt, bro. Thanks. Yeah, just do it, you guys. Just look at the chart. Just look at the chart. Just do it. Okay. You guys are freaking ridiculous in the chat. Look at this. Everyone's making fun of Gooner now. That face, though. Has anybody been timing this? I was locked in, you guys. Can you see the chart now? You should be able to see the chart. I moved myself. Oh, man, that's hilarious. I love it, you guys. I like that you guys are having a good time. Maybe I did it on purpose for comedic effect, okay? So race, basically what I was talking about earlier is we've got a breakdown here, drop, and then, we expect basically a little drop, consolidation, and further drop. Nice sell volume coming in. OBV is looking a little weak. Top Goon X is actually giving a bearish divergence here too. How high am I? I'm not high at all. Not high at all, you guys. I'm high on my charts. High on my charts. Okay, let's see what else we got. So then I've got let's get into it here. And look at this chart. Damn it, I'm terrible. All right. So basically, how high am I? That's funny. All right. Let's see. So basically, I just shorted the piss tits out of this when I saw this starting to break down and lose support. Because usually you get these this is a pretty important trend line here. We've got some consolidation. It pops up. It breaks back down. And the whole market was kind of just looking like ass anyway. And I just hopped in a short. This is a momentum short. So basically what that means is when momentum stalls, I got to start getting out a little bit. Because I'm getting in a little late and it could retest my entry. Gaps are so weird to look at. Yes, thigh gaps are the worst. Anyway, so I got out. Momentum stalled. It started to bounce. I got out at like 356-ish. And then I'm holding about 25% of the original position to see if it keeps running. But when these momentum plays, you got to get partial out at least because they can go back to your entry, or they can just be a quick momentum and, because there's no confirmation of closes yet, and it can just rebound and go the other direction. Because, again, I don't have a 4H close yet, so this could rebound in the next hour and a half and be a nice bullish wick, and then I wouldn't have taken any profit. So, really nice trade there so far, up a few percent, up about 2%, looking good. I've taken some profit. I've got profit locked in already on the day. All my stop losses are at break even. Like, I'm sitting in a freaking great position. And honestly, at this point, I probably look to start moving my stop losses a little bit. Even if I get stopped out, I'd rather, tighten them up, reduce my risk, yada, yada. So, And I will not hesitate to close any of these positions at any time. All right. So I'll keep an eye on these. But yeah, you guys, I'm going to get going for now. I got a lot to do today. I got some educational videos I got to make for you guys too. So, peace. Thanks for joining. Sorry you had to look at my face for like 5 minutes on there. But I'm going to make you look at it again. Just look at it. Look at it. All right. We done. We out here. Peace. Do you find you move your stop losses too soon sometimes? Yeah, I move my stop losses to break even too soon sometimes, but it happens. But it's okay. Reduce my risk, man. Reduce my risk. Soon sometimes? Yeah, I move my stop losses to break even too soon sometimes, but it happens. But it's okay. Reduce my risk, man. Reduce my risk.